Hey, everybody. Today, Steve and I are here with a special bonus episode of the Acting Podcast to talk to you, our community, and the community of artists all over the world about life and art and healing in this time of Corona and what we're discovering as we move through this that changes from day to day, and how we can all maintain and even cultivate our open hearts, our humanity, our connection, and our artistry in the face of a global pandemic. We're here for you, we're here for each other, and we are all in this together. So listen in.
Also, please join us online during our BGB virtual sit-down via Zoom. It's on April 6th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll talk to you in an online class setting, again on Zoom, and yes, we'll talk about our approach to the industry and auditioning, career building and craft, and et cetera, et cetera. But we're also going to talk about your vulnerability, your bravery, and why it's so vital right now, perhaps more than ever. We want to see your faces. We want to hear from you. We want to be here for you. So visit the link in our show notes to sign up now. It's free, but virtual space is limited. So we'll see you there.
Hi, Steve. Where are you right now?
I'm in Studio A here at the BGB studio. My internet is down. Some fiber cable was, who knows what's going on. But so I have come to the studio, which is very eerie because it's empty, right? It's like those scenes in The Walking Dead when they go back to the places they once knew and there's moss everywhere. And it's like, it's very, very strange. But these are the times we're in.
Yeah.
My internet's down, my dishwasher's broken. I've got a teething 7-month-old who screams unless you pick her up. My 5-year-old's bouncing off the walls. But we're all healthy, So, and I think, what's interesting in all this as we move to the artists that we serve, you and I among them, is that there is no community seemingly right now. There's no way to express. And what we found is that people have gone into whatever crisis mode is for them, which doesn't often mean let me stop and care for myself or find moments of expression, particularly those people who are caring for other people amidst all of this. So it just feels like there's not a lot of space for a lot of things right now, even in having too much space for some people, right? Just talked to someone who said, like, the meditation practice is not happening right now because there's no schedule. It's like the great wide open. Yeah. And when do I do it? I don't know. So, and it's early days in all this. So we're still kind of figuring it out. But I think one of the things that's interesting in all this is that it's another opportunity, particularly for creative people, to ask themselves, where is the space here? Where is the space for myself, for the people I love, for art, even in this, right? Like, can the flower emerge from the crack in the concrete and bloom? Where is that crack for all of us right now, where it feels like the world's on fire and it's all caving in? And I think we have to, just even to find our humanity, we have to ask ourselves, where is the space for our humanity, which is challenging right now. And I also think, so on the Friday before all this went down, which was, almost a week ago, got some rough news about the health of one of my parents, and not related to the virus. And what's interesting in all this is all of this stuff can trigger us. And if there weren't this global stoppage, I'd likely go on with my day raising kids and helping actors and the doing of life. And I wouldn't be able to process things the way I can process. And so here's another part of it, again, in terms of our perception, where I wonder whether we can see this as potential for widespread healing as we all have to stop and look at ourselves. And right now we're in the I just need some more fucking toilet paper because what if place. But beyond that, if this thing goes beyond 2 weeks, which people say, is likely, some version of it, I wonder whether we can find stillness in this and take the time to look deeply. And part of that looking, I think, is figuring out what as artists we have to offer ourselves and other people. And again, where is the space and how can we do that? And this leads us to Zoom, where we are right now, right? That I had my first class on Zoom, my first online class, and I've been carrying the flag for real human connection. And forget this technology; it has its use, but we have to. It's in person, and we the nuance of the human experience, and blah blah blah. And sometimes, railing against dogma can be.
So everybody, we're back. We actually got kicked out of our conversation because other people on our staff are in one of the Zoom rooms, and we're all trying to figure out together how to manage all this technology. So we'll get back to Steve talking about humanity now that we're back.
Oh, I was talking some shit about something. I don't know what it was, but there's so much coming up in all this. Oh, it was Zoom. And again, like, where can we find the space, right? So, like, we're all about in-person stuff for 25 years. All of a sudden, that's not available to us. And so we have to turn to this technology, which I was skeptical about, as was, many people in the class. I had my first class last night online. And these are sophisticated actors who have been around and worked a lot, and some of whom resist the technology, even of self-tapes, right? Because that's not how they found success, and haven't needed to do too much self-taping. And so we got on this Zoom thing, and even just seeing everyone's faces after this isolation was so wonderful. And it was like community again, in a different platform, on a different platform, different form, but community nonetheless. And we had a check-in about things, and again, a lot of latent feelings because people have been not expressing them because they haven't had time or felt they had space. And then the work started, and it was so stunning. It was so brilliant. It, like the most incredible FaceTime conversations that we watch, in interesting circumstances, and people being affected, and we found connection, and it was intimate, and all that sort of stuff that we managed to get on Zoom, and it was so reaffirming of my humanity, which was so amazing, that like art can live here, and it can live in the face of a pandemic if we choose to get over whatever stuff we have about we're can't happen, or it can only happen this way, or whatever dogma we're bringing to the work. If we can use even the audio glitches and some lagging internet every once in a while, and how do we use this thing, and the stumbling, and the dog comes in the room, or the kids come in, even if we can be in acceptance of all those, they become the moment. It becomes art. And so I'm so excited about what we can do using Zoom, and the edits that happen organically back and forth in speaker mode, or you can decide what view you have, or like there's so many amazing possibilities to create art, and all of this shit. Yeah. Which I think is our only option, right? Or else we lose our humanity.
That's exciting. I'm glad I have a class tonight, and I'm excited to try it out. And I just want to encourage all of you who may be watching or listening to this to take advantage of technology as a platform, so you're not just desperately scrolling through Instagram to find a piece of inspiration and still sitting in your own shit, which is what I've been guilty of doing, that you find connection with other people, other artists as well. I was just talking to Leslie, who's my TA for my Saturday morning class that we're getting ready to do, and we were talking about needing to create space with each other for that kind of check-in. A lot of the work we do at the studio is emotional, it's personal, it's vulnerable, it's accountable to each other, it's communal, and so there's not a lot of space for that because we're all in survival mode, whether it's do we have enough food, or do we have enough toilet paper, or what's going to happen in a month, or you turn on the television or the news in any capacity and you see these horrifying things. Not that you shouldn't be aware of them, of course, but there's also got to be space that you can create to express yourself. And if nothing else, this platform and this process and this classroom can be a place to express oneself and to commune with each other, and to, as you said, see each other's faces and allow for vulnerability in a different way, but in the same basic way that we've done it in the studio that you're sitting in right now.
Yeah, it's so interesting, the parallels, because technology and acting have always had some sort of relationship, sometimes dysfunctional, sometimes whatever. And the actor has always had to be malleable and adjust. And the actor has always said, I don't want to, the talkies are like whatever else, right? And now self-tapes. And here's another example of how you can be at odds with this situation and try to swim upstream of this situation, or you can go with the Tao and say, this is where we are. So where can we turn the potential limitations of the technology into opportunities and interesting, blocks to creativity that we have to get creative around to navigate.
Yeah.
And even, you talk about space, even the fact that many of us are isolated and should be isolated right now. So you're hole up in your house or your apartment or whatever, and there's actual physical space that is lacking that was not before. Even, people come to our studio, it's this liminal space that we've designed, this one, to be a place outside of the kids and the family and the whatever else. So some of this requires you, even in your own, abode, to say, but where is my corner here that is a space that I can find a boundary around and create for myself, so that I can do this work. But again, like what we found, even yesterday, last night, once we get people past the or the I don't know, or it's just so much, I can't right now, then the magic is on the other side of that. And so I hope everyone can get right with this, because this is the only option right now. And so let's celebrate it and create magic all over it.
Yeah, I love that. And it's getting used to it. But it's also looking, when you said that artists have always resisted it, I mean, movie making came of that. It was a new technology. Yeah. Television came of that. And you've made web series or short films. Many of our actors are making short films, and we're finding them and putting them out on social media and finding new ways to connect. But this is a new way to express yourself as an artist, and an old way to express yourself as an artist. And so think about what that is for you, and find a way to hold yourself accountable to each other and to the work that you love and to the expression of all of your feelings in a way that is safe and necessary among a community of people who you already know or you may need. And one of the things Steve and I are doing is check-ins with our classes. We're going to offer studio-wide check-ins with our community. If you're in need of that or an interest of that, you know how to find us. Just reach out to us and say, I want to be a part of this. I just want to check in and know that I have a place where I can find connection. Just email us at our regular email. Our staff is working from home, but very much working, info@BraemonGarciaBraun.com, and let us know what you need, because we're here for you, and we want to make sure that you know that you have a place where you can find connection.
One of the things that everyone said last night after class was that they didn't know how much they needed this until they got it. And some of this too is, again, as we're all in crisis mode, we don't recognize how high our shoulders are because we have our guards up and we're just trying to get through the next thing to the next thing, and the anxiety and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, right. Until you find that space where, oh yeah, I can express here and be human, and so you can forget. And so, our purpose here, Risa, as you know, is to help people find that space. So please do reach out, and this community's here. We'll do everything we can. We're going to discount rates for our ongoing classes in April because we know this is a challenging time. I firmly believe, and I got this from my grandparents, that what you do in times of crisis matters. Civic responsibility matters. It's, to a certain extent, why we're all isolating right now. It's not, hopefully, not for my wife and me and my two kids who are all healthy. It's for the folks who have compromised immune systems, and that's why we're doing this. And what an amazing service that we can offer people. And there are many more ways in which we can serve people. But this studio as a studio as an idea has to be a service. And our mandate here is to be here for hypersensitive people, for artists who also serve the world in their own ways too. And so we're going to do what we can to make this a place that's accessible to everybody during all of this, be it online or once we get back up and running in person and all of that. So just email us and let us know what you need. And, we've been doing a lot of this, and we will continue to create community however and wherever we can.
One thing that we're doing, there's an actor and teacher who's part of our community. His name is Kyle Secor. And
Kyle Secor from Party of Five? I'm not even joking. That's awesome.
So Kyle is one of our great emotional anchors, certainly in a bunch of our classes. And many of you will know him from TV shows and movies alike, or from just being with him here at BGB. And he's initiated something, and we're partnering with him in this. And I love this so much because, again, it's a way to connect and create and offer something, both creatively and even financially. And what it is, it's and you'll see it on our social media, and we'll get that out to you. But we want to just let you know about it because we've been working on it a lot in putting it together. It's called the BGB World Monologue Challenge. And basically you shoot a monologue of any kind that's inspired by what's happening. Something you write, or something you find, or something you love, something you know, something you learn. And it's anywhere from 15 seconds to 2 minutes. And then you put it out on social media. We'll share the hashtag with you. And you tag 1 to 3 fellow artists, and they will then shoot theirs and tag other people. And if you can, you donate $10 to the Disaster Relief Actors Fund for artists in immediate need right now. And it's just a way for all of us to share with each other, to give to each other, to connect with each other, and to create something that we may feel that we can't necessarily create, but that we're now compelled to. So we're putting that out in the next couple days, and we just encourage all of you to use this as a way to connect and share and give.
And $10 or $5 or $2 or $100 or whatever it is that you feel that you can safely and comfortably give. And this came from Kyle with a conversation that Kyle had with you, which is, it just speaks to like the incredible opportunity that exists right now. Kyle, beyond being really talented, he's got just this explosive heart. Is just so sweet, and it comes from that, which is there's so many opportunities for all this right now. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And I know that I'm resisting it at times because I know, Steve, that I go into warrior mode. Like, how are we going to make all this work? And then suddenly, if I just melt a little bit and allow myself to feel and receive what people are offering and be in connection with them, be it our staff, our teachers, our actors, our family, our friends, to just stop for a moment, to breathe, to be, to receive, to open our hearts, to let our shoulders down, and to do this thing that may not seem necessary, because why is art necessary? Why is emotional expression necessary? I have to survive. This is a part of your survival. This will feed all of the other survival. That's what I'm finding. I was so depleted last night that I just went to bed early and couldn't function because my motor was going so fast, as you saw yesterday, in survival mode for myself, my family, and our BGB community and the studio, that I lost sight of some of the other things that are equally necessary, which is my emotional, mental, psychological health and humanity.
Whereas I had class last night, which made all the difference, as Robert Frost once said. My humanity was reaffirmed as soon as they started going and doing the work that we all love. I had this sense that everything's going to be okay. And it was a profound reminder of the power of all this and the need for connection in these times. One of the things I think, just apropos this discussion of the warrior mode and how, things get, the anxiety is just tweaked right now, is that when we're in this fight or flight thing, like the ego kicks up and it sees itself antithetical to the rest of the world. It is this singularity that is under threat and that must fight back, and everyone's out to get, right? This opposing force. And what I've found solace in, oddly, is I keep coming back to, but we're all in this. Everyone's feeling a version of this same stuff. And again, maybe one of the things that we can find solace in individually and as a world community is that this is not my experience. This is not your experience. This is our experience. Yeah. We are all going through this. And on some level, that makes it okay. The person that can't afford their rent, many other people can't right now. Like there's going to need to be some sort of collective movement of help because we're all in this together. And I wonder whether that's something that we can keep in our minds as we go to those, I need more toilet paper. We're all in this together. Everyone is in this in many of the same ways.
Yeah.
That oneness, I think, is an important part of what's happening just now.
Yeah. Gracie used 40 lemons last night from your tree, Steve, and made lemon preserves and lemon squares, and it made me realize again the connection from the tree through you to the studio to home to lemons in a jar. And you know how I feel about lemons.
I do. Yeah. And that tree was planted by this woman named Pearl, who was the first owner of my house in the 1960s, and it's still there. And so, the circle of life.
Yeah. So everybody just stop for a second and see where you're at, look around your surroundings, take it all in, get a little outside time if you can, where it's safe, just to be in the air when it's not raining or snowing or whatever in whatever town you're in, and reach out to people you love in maybe in ways you haven't, because we all need this, and get back to your heart and your humanity and your human connection, and we are here for you, whatever you need. And we're going to be doing lots of classes online and experimenting with this thing, which is exciting, and hopefully we can offer you something that will be useful for you.
Yeah, we're going to be making Zoom movies.
We are, yeah. So when we say
the brave
create,
new world here.
Yeah, when we say create, we mean really create together in this new arena together. Yeah. All right, Steve, I know you have to go home to your family, and we have work to do and life to do. So stay in touch with us, everybody. We love you. We're here for you.
Take good care.